Hey everyone, this is Larry with Today I Feel Like. Earlier today, I made either one of the best decisions or maybe one of the worst, but let's jump into it. So earlier today, I took all of my Canon RF gear down to my local camera shop and, well, I traded it in. Now, some of you may know I shoot mainly with Sony. So right now I'm shooting with my Sony a7S III. I have an a7 CR. I also have an a6700. I've had a number of Sony cameras. I really like Sony cameras. They're workhorses and they get the job done. The problem is oftentimes they feel like tools to me. They don't feel like fun. They feel like work. And I've tried to buy cameras that I only use for fun and not for work with Sony, and I often like them, but they still end up feeling largely like work cameras. They feel like tools, and I wish there was something that was more, I don't know, intrinsically pleasing about working with them. But they get the job done so well that I continue to use them and go back to Sony. But I wanted something different. A couple years back, I bought a Canon R5. And I bought a few lenses. I bought a 100 to 400 to shoot some zoo stuff. I bought a 14 to 35 because I figured I would do some vlogging with it. The camera was way too big, too heavy, wobbles in the corners, so didn't really do a lot of that. I bought a 16 millimeter, same thing, thinking maybe I'll do some vlogging, small pancake lens. It was loud when it focused, you can hear it. It was just not a good experience at all. And what else did I buy? I think it was, when I bought it, I got it with the kit, so I had the 24 to 105 f4. So I had the 24 to 105 f4, the 14 to 35 f4, the 100 to 400, which was like a 5.6 to f8, and then a 16 2.8. And today, I got rid of it all. That's right. And instead, I went to my local camera store, which is District Camera. If you guys can see them, go check them out. They're good people over there. I was working with, I believe it was with Ramona and Saeed, and Eldar came in to finish up the deal when I had trading stuff in. And I went ahead and picked up the Nikon Z6 III. So that's it, the Nikon, I almost said Z6 III because I've been watching so many videos online. I think there's a bunch of Canadians and folks that are making them, and they keep saying Z. But I bought the Z6 III, and I actually ordered and just got today also the Tamron 28 to 75 f2.8 G2 lens. And I thought about getting the Nikon one, but the Nikon one was just a little bit more expensive. And from what I was hearing and seeing online, the G2 lens is actually a little bit sharper, a little bit more accurate with the autofocusing. So I went ahead and got these two. Now, I recently bought a Nikon ZR for video, and I've been really enjoying that camera. And I have a Megadap adapter so I can use my Sony lenses on it. But I wanted to have some native glass. So I made a fantastic deal with them when I traded everything in. So I was able to get this body and basically, you know, have that completely covered. And then I plan on getting a 70 to 180 f2.8, but they didn't have it in stock, so I'll have to wait until they have it or pick it up elsewhere. So by the time I'm done, I will have basically gotten a straight trade for my new gear. So I'm pretty happy about that. I got some good deals. Again, check out District Camera, check out Eldar, Ramona, Saeed, Alan. They're all there. They're all great people. I went to the store in Burke. They also have a store in Arlington and a store in DC. So you can check them out. I'm in the DC area. So anyways, I'm excited to unbox both of these and check them out. So let's get to unboxing and see how they do. All right, let's take a quick look around the box. We can see here it says Nikon Z6 III. A little bit of just product information on the sides there. So yeah, let's get this out. I don't know, it sounds like something's loose in there. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So, all right, let's get this out. Oh, it's just the get started book and manual and stuff. So we can see there we have the Nikon Imaging Cloud, Connect, Create, Get Started. These things are great. I never usually use them because I've had so many negative experiences with people starting their cloud services and shutting them down, or they start free and then you have to pay for them. It's just usually a nightmare, and then you have to move stuff off. I just don't use them generally anymore. So we're gonna get, it looks like a user manual. This one looks like it's in Spanish or Italian or something. Here is the English version right here. So nice to see. It looks like we're gonna get a warranty card there. It says just for you, access your video. So it says getting the most out of your Z6 III. That's very nice to see that they included that. All right, let's see what else we have in here. We are going to get a USB-C to USB-C cable. Very nice. Hopefully we don't need that. It looks like we're going to get some cable locks in here. So these are usually these are usually locks that you can use so that to keep your cables in place. So especially if you're filming video with this camera a lot and you have a monitor or something hooked up, these will help keep your cables locked in so they don't get pulled out and break any of the ports or anything like that. So we're also going to get a camera strap. Now, I rarely, if ever, use these. I did use the camera strap on my Canon R5 because at the time I needed another camera strap. Didn't have one. I figured whatever, I'll use it. But I don't generally like to use these straps because I don't like to advertise that, hey, I have a big expensive camera around my neck. Some people will see the camera, not know what it is, and don't pay any attention to it. But if a thief is seeing that you have like Nikon Z8 or, or Z6 III or whatever on your neck, they might decide to bonk you over the head and take it. So I just decide not to advertise. And then we have the battery here. This is going to be the Nikon, I believe this is the EN-EL 15C. Yep, the EN-EL 15C. It's a 2280 milliamp hour battery. I feel like these batteries have been around for a very, very long time, and people seem to either love them or hate them. I don't know. I love the fact that Nikon keeps the same battery, because if you have a camera that goes all the way back to like a D850 or something through all the mirrorless cameras today, you don't have to worry about buying new batteries. You can, if you've bought a number of batteries for an older camera and you upgrade, you can keep moving forward with those batteries. So big ups on that. Let me just take this off right there. I'm gonna set that aside because I'm gonna need that. And then let's go ahead and take a look at this camera body. I am excited to take a look at this bad boy. And here we have it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at that. Look at that. That is nice. And yeah, it's definitely heavier than some of the other cameras that I've had, but it's not, I don't think it's as heavy as my R5. Maybe it is, I don't know, but it definitely doesn't feel quite as heavy as I was expecting. But we can see there's lots and lots of buttons and dials on here. We have a mode button dial, it looks like right here. We have an adjustment wheel here, our on-off switch. We have a record button, ISO button, exposure compensation button. We have a screen, a light for the screen. It looks like this is probably a little microphone, and then a little hash mark for our focusing plane. We're gonna have a trash can button. I believe this is like a multi-exposure button or something, or playback button, display button, and this is gonna have a display button. It looks like it's gonna have a camera, a photo and video mode in there. It's very nice. Autofocus button, so you can have the AF on, so you can use that full-time back focus, button autofocusing. You have a little jog wheel toggle there so that we can use that. An info button. I think the info button is if you're ever on the menus and you're not sure what something does, you can hit that button and it'll tell you what it is. That's kind of awesome, because there's some stuff I just don't know what it does, or I forget. And so it's nice to be able to get reminded or just learn it new. So here is the little four-way touchpad, or D-pad as some people call it, the OK button in there. You have your plus minus buttons. So I believe if you're zooming in or out of an image, you can do that right there. You have your menu button. You have your play button right there. And then we have our flip screen. And there's our flip screen. I believe this flip screen is about 3.2 inches, so it's not the smallest screen, not the biggest screen either, especially after I've gotten used to using my Nikon ZR with that big old 4-inch screen. This screen definitely seems smaller, but not bad. It is fully articulating, which is one of the reasons why I chose this camera instead of the R8. The R8 has a tiltable screen, but not a fully articulating one. And I film myself a lot, so I want to be able to actually see myself and not have to worry about using a monitor if I want to film with my, when I'm filming myself. So, yeah. On the bottom here, we have a 1/4 thread with some locking pins on there if we need those. We have the battery door right here. And there you go. So you can put that battery right on in there. And then on this side here, it looks like we're going to have our cards, our place for our card slot. So we're going to have a CF Express Type B card slot and a SD card slot. So you're going to get both of those that you can use. So we're also going to get these little dealios right here for our camera straps. I know some people don't like these little dangly things. I absolutely love them because it's easy to use different types of camera straps, at least the camera strap that I absolutely love, which is a Domke gripper. Those are fantastic, and I love being able to use them. I use the Domke gripper a little bit different than it's actually designed to be used or set up. I actually use the little sort of latch thing and connect it there. I'll show you guys one day. So, yeah, on the front here, you have the lens release button, and then you have two more FN buttons that you can use for custom buttons. So you have FN1 and FN2. Those are fantastic. So yeah, and I believe all these buttons on the back and everywhere, I believe all of these are programmable. Also right here, you do have a diopter so that you can adjust your EVF to your eyesight, which is fantastic. And you also have your hot shoe. And I'm not sure, I don't think this is a digital hot shoe. I think this is a standard hot shoe. So there is that. And one of the reasons why not having a digital hot shoe is maybe kind of an issue is because if you have, say, like a Nikon ZR, which does have a digital hot shoe, Nikon does have a digital microphone that you can connect right onto the hot shoe, and you don't need cables. It just sends that information and that signal over digitally. That's really kind of nice. But you may not be able to use that microphone on here. You'll have to use an old school mic. I shouldn't say old school, but you have to connect the old school way, which is basically to connect via a cable. So, yeah. And let's see here. So on this side, we're going to get all of our ports. So we're going to have a mic port and a headphone jack right there. So we can go ahead and see. We're going to have the microphone and the headphone jack. Now, this is one thing that Nikon does not do that I really wish they did do. It makes it easy. Is I wish that they made the microphone port red. I wish they did that. There are some cameras that actually make the little port part inside red, so you know you're plugging into the microphone and not into the headphone jack. Because there are times that I have, tried to fiddle with a pair of headphones and tried to get them plugged in, and I was like, why is this not working? I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting any audio, and I got frustrated, and I just pulled them out and decided to go with a different pair of headphones thinking that it didn't work. It turned out I was plugged into the wrong port, and if I had a red one, some sort of indicator letting me know, then that would have worked out easy. Now, on here, I can just always know, top is mic, bottom is headphones. That makes it easy, but I still wish they had a little color to it or something that indicated one is mic and one is headphones. Now, we're also here going to get a USB-C port, HDMI, and then I believe this is going to be for a remote. So you can see right here, it's going to be USB-C, and then we also have a full-size HDMI. Thank you, Nikon. Man, everybody needs to do that. I don't understand. This is a crazy thing. This camera, full-size HDMI. The Nikon ZR, which is a cinema camera, does not have a full-size HDMI. I don't know why, but there's that. And then here is this other one. I believe this is for a remote that you can plug in there. I think they maybe have it so you can have like a remote trigger or some other stuff. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll have to check that later when I get in more into the camera. So, and again, here over here, we have the dial right there. Oh, there's one other button right there. I believe this is for your EVF, so you can turn it on or off. And if you want to push that, you can. I believe you can turn that on or off, or set it so that it goes to automatic or manual or whatever. So, yeah. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna leave the camera right here. I think I have everything out of here that I need. I'm not gonna use those. I don't think I'm gonna end up using those cable those cable whatever they call them. I don't think I'm. I was trying to think what they call those, cable locks. I don't think I'm gonna use those. I have enough USB-C cables that I don't need that, so I'm going to stick all that stuff back in the box. And one reason why I like to keep all of that stuff is because if at some point, which I probably will, decide to trade this camera in, having everything really does help increase the value of your camera a little bit. Whether you trade it into a store or you actually sell it to somebody on the this open market. Having the box and all of this stuff really gives a sense of you're getting everything, and they give you more value. So, all right, here's the lens now. This is a Tamron 28-75 f2.8 Di3 VXD G2 lens, and yeah, same thing here. Has a 67 millimeter thread, filtered thread. Comes with a lens hood. And the model is the A063Z, I believe is what they call it. So, yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's get this thing out, take a look at it. And, man, I'm trying to think if I have ever owned a Tamron lens. I don't know. I've owned some Sigma lenses. I currently own, I think, one Sigma lens, APS-C lens. I own a couple of Viltrox lenses. I think I have a 7 Artisans lens. But I don't think I've ever owned a Tamron lens. I've shot with Tamron lenses. I've borrowed some lenses from Tamron, but I've never actually owned one. So, yeah. All right, let's get this up and out. See if we can. Let's see how to get this. Trying not to destroy the packaging at all. So, all right. I think, yep, there's nothing in there. I don't think there's anything in here, so it doesn't look like they're going to give me like a lens pouch or anything. Sometimes they will give you a little lens pouch to carry the lens in when you're not using it. But there it is. This is the lens right here. It's not too big. It's definitely not as fat as I thought it was going to be. It has a little bit of weight to it. I'm not sure how much this thing weighs, but it has a little bit of weight to it. There's that 67 millimeter filter thread. Especially when you take the lens hood off, it looks really small. But look at this. This is fantastic. It has a focus hold button. It doesn't have image vibration or vibration compensation, which is the image stabilization for a Tamron. It doesn't have it in this lens, but it does have this focus hold button, which I absolutely love. And one of the reasons why is I shoot quite a bit of video. And one of the things that I like to do is set up this button right here to actually work to send me into APS-C mode, or for the Nikon, it would be DX mode. So I like to have this. So if I'm shooting and I need to get that extra reach, maybe I'm all the way out at 75 and I just can't get in far enough, I need to get a little bit closer, I can just hit that button, boom, it automatically throws me into DX mode, and I can get that extra crop and take the shot, and then I can push it again and get right back out. Same thing for video. It's much more effective for video. I mean, it's good for photos too, but this is a 24 megapixel camera. And so punching into DX mode is only going to give you, I think, like 10 megapixels for stills. But you can still shoot 4K video in crop mode. So if you're trying to get some extra reach and you don't have a longer lens, or you don't have time to switch lenses out, you can hit that button right there. If you have it programmed to go into DX mode, you can hit the focus hold button or a custom function button, hit it. It'll put you into crop mode, and then you can shoot your shots, in that crop mode sensor, which will give you a little bit extra reach. So I think instead of a 75, What is it? What's a 1.5? Let's see. Let's ask, hey, Google, what is 75 times 1.5? Let's see what they have to say. The result of 75 times 112 millimeters. So about 112 millimeters. So it can give you a little bit more reach if you need to. And that may be all that you need to make the shot look good versus looking average. So yeah. All right. Well, let's do this. I need to put I like to put filters on my stuff, a little UV filter. I'm sure I have one somewhere around here. I'm going to have to look it up. But here, I don't like doing this, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to put this lens on here anyways. But let me go ahead. There is my sensor. And yeah, I just don't like showing. I don't like this because it's easy to get dust on your sensor like that. But one thing that I really wish is that Nikon, please, please, please let the curtain drop down in front of the sensor when the camera is off. Because if you're switching lenses and you're outdoors and it's windy or it's dusty, maybe you're shooting at the beach or in the desert, or maybe you're shooting, at a baseball game or something and there's dust in the air, you don't want dust on your sensor when you switch lenses. But if you can have that curtain drop down when you turn the camera off, then you're safe to pop that lens off, switch it out, and you don't have to worry about getting dust on your sensor. It's just a simple thing, and it's not even something that you have to change anything for. It's just a firmware update to allow that to drop down. So please, Nikon, do that for us. All right, this is it. This is the setup right here, and you can see if I put this on right here, let's see, let's get that on. There we go. It looks a little bit bigger, but that grip, woo, that grip is nice. I wish they had this grip on the ZR, but they don't. It's still nice. I still like the ergonomics of the ZR enough for what it is, but I like this for hand holding. This is gonna feel really great. This thing is gonna zoom. It zooms really nicely. And yeah, it's weird. It feels almost like you zoom it all the way out and it feels like it zooms out, and then it feels like it extends out, and then it feels like it goes in, and then like it reaches its max, and then it feels like it goes back out again a little bit. So now I'm not sure. I think this might be your focusing ring right here. I guess, yeah. I guess that's your focusing ring. I think maybe you can go in and change that and maybe give it some other functionality or something, but you can see there, it doesn't really extend very far out. So, and if you take this off and you have it like that, it's a relatively small lens, and it's not very heavy. Now, I need to put the battery in. I'm talking about it's not very heavy. Let me see what this thing feels like with the battery in there. Yeah, a little bit heavier, but not much. It's a relatively small and lightweight camera for what it is. So there you go. That's it. I guess I'm officially in the Nikon camp. I am a Nikon, or as some would say, a Nikon shooter now. Or I will be. I have been shooting with my ZR, and and I've actually been using an adapter to actually use my Sony glass, because I haven't really had much Nikon glass. The only Nikon glass I have, any Z-mount glass I have other than this right now, before was a 26 millimeter. So now I'll have this, and hopefully tomorrow I may be able to get the 70-180 f2.8. So we'll have to see. I did see I called one of my local camera shops. The one that I bought this camera from didn't have it, and so I called another one. They said they do have it, but then they told me the price, which was $11.49 or something like that. And then I looked on B&H today. B&H actually has it on sale for, I think it's $9.79 or $9.49. I think it might be $9.49. I'm gonna check it out again, because that's a pretty good discount. Now, some of these local camera shops are good at matching prices, and if they do, then hey, I'll just go ahead and buy it from them. I like to buy stuff locally when I can, but if not, then I'll just order it from B&H, and it'll be here in a couple of days, and I'll have it and be able to use it. So there you go. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to have a ton of fun with this camera and really enjoy it. And I'm going to put this lens hood back on. And one reason I like to use lens hoods, these lens hoods with it, is because if I bang it on something, it hits the lens hood and not the front element, and that's always a good thing. You don't want to bang around your front element. So I'm looking forward to really playing with this. Let me see if I can get this thing on there. There we go. All right, yeah. It's gonna be fun. Well, there you go, everyone. As I said, I either made the best decision or the worst decision because there's no turning back at this point. I didn't just go out and buy this and decide if I want to keep it and then trade my stuff in or sell my stuff later. Nope, I went all in. I went ahead and traded in my Canon RF stuff, my R5, the lenses that I had. I bought the Z6 III and I bought the Tamron 28-75 f2.8. I'm gonna go get the 70-180 f2.8, and I should be pretty much covered for everything that I want and need pretty much. I may at some point get the, I think it's the 14-30, and that'll be good, but I don't know. We'll have to see if I need something that wide. I think 28-75 is gonna serve me well. So, all right, y'all. There it is. Stay tuned because I will have some photos and videos coming up of this camera. Lots of them. I still have lots of videos to make of my Nikon ZR. I have 2 Nikons all of a sudden. I went from none to 2, just like that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And please subscribe to this channel. And follow me on Instagram. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.